What's going on, everyone? It's time I let you in on a little secret about something called JASMY. Now, this is a crypto coin. It's coined as the Japanese Bitcoin because it is the first and only ever approved Japanese blockchain that's been allowed to run on the blockchain, and that is JASMY coin. And this deals in the industry of Internet of Things, which is an up-and-coming, very large industry group that's going to be very popular in the next few years. And I wanted to give my thoughts on JASMY and give you a little bit of background on what it's about, since we do have a lot of new members in the group questioning this as well. So I wanted to make sure I at least put this out so that everyone is in the know. Now, I'm not going to read off the whole white paper, but I'll leave the remainder in the description below if you want to take a look. So let's go ahead and take a look at JASMY coin. JASMY. So JASMY IoT platform, their motto here is, we aim to realize a data democracy by building a decentralized, democratic world where data is protected as inherently owned by each individual. Now, JASMY is an IoT platform company on a mission to provide the infrastructure which allows anybody to use data safely and securely. In order to achieve this, we are currently developing and providing the JASMY platform. In recent years, the valuable data generated from our everyday life is processed by a small number of giant platformers in the global market. With the JASMY platform, we aim to create the world where each individual's own data can be protected so that everyone can use their data safely and securely. To achieve this, we have uniquely combined blockchain and IoT technology to provide the optimal platform solution for customers around the world and across industries. Japan has been recognized for manufacturing high-quality products, but in the endeavor of building the JASMY platform, we are developing our business both from a manufacturer's perspective as well as striving to become a market innovator. The current century is sometimes called the century of data, in which people, machines, and information are building new relationships. We firmly believe that JASMY can help Japan take a leading role in creating such a world. Again, only Bitcoin or only crypto that's been approved in Japan thus far. Now, hold on a minute. Who is behind JASMY? That's probably important, and you probably would like to know that. Well, let's go and take a look at their management structure. I'm not even going to try to say their names, so I'm just going to say this guy, former president and COO of Sony Corporation, president and COO of U.S. Sony Engineering and Manufacturing of America, chairman of Sony Financial Holdings, chairman of Sony Life Insurance Company Ltd., assumed office as CEO of JASMY in April 2016, currently director of the Japan Innovation Network and chairman of the University of Nagano. Next, we have Kazumasa Sato, former CEO of SonyStyle.com, Japan Inc., operating officer of Sony Marketing Incorporated, and president of Sony Style Company, managing director of Sony Style Japan, and operating officer of Sony Marketing Incorporated. Also, head of the Sony Corporation Creative Center, chairman of BJIT Group, and he joined the JASMY board of directors in April 2016 and is the COO of JASMY Incorporated from November 2018. Next, we have Hiroshi Harada. After passing the JICPA examination in 2008, he joined KPMG AZSA LLP. He has been engaged in statutory auditing for listed companies across industries, including broadcasting, construction, and manufacturing, as well as IPO support services with which his client successfully went public. After 11-year experience at auditing firm, he joined JASMY as the CFO in January of 2020. In addition to managing accounting, finance, and taxation, he is also responsible for investor relations. Next, we have Tadashi Morita, who is the Chief Security Officer, CSO, and Senior Strategist. In 1971, he joined Sony Corporation and since then has contributed as an engineer and has developed several technologies. He has applied for about 100 patents while working for Sony. Invention of NFC technology and standardization are one of his accomplishments. From 2007 to 2013, he was appointed as Chief Distinguished Engineer and was instructed to investigate security trends and made recommendations to Sony's top management every year. Since 2013, joined the OES project of Sony Computer Science Laboratory and invented DC microgrid technology and installed at Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University as a trial of world first DC microgrid system. He participated in the 2008 JST CREST DEOS project, supported in the development of international standards for open system dependability, and contributed to the development of IEC 62853. Since 2020, he has been appointed as a project researcher at Kanagawa University and is promoting research that contributes to the dissemination of standards. Qualified as CISSP in the security field, in 2020 he joined JASMY Cooperation as a senior strategist. Next, we have Takeshi Hagiwara. He's a board director and head of software development. He is the former president of Sony Digital Network Applications, deputy head of VAIO and Mobile Business Group of Sony, CEO of Vision Arts, which is a sub-company of Sony, and he was one of the leaders in Sony. Became the head of software development from 2020 for JASMY. Now we have Shingo, JASMY Softtech, Chief Information Officer / Enterprise Architect. With years of varied experience on high-profile IT projects across the aviation, telecom, and the public sector. Worked on the Long-Range Radar and Display System, or otherwise known as LORADS, and Advanced Air Traffic Management, or ATM system, for the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore between 2007 and 2010. Managed and led the IT development and the Climate and Ocean Support Program in the Pacific, in the Australian Bureau of Meteorology between 2010 and 2017. He worked on the fiber optic network rollout in the National Broadband Network, Australia, between 2017 and 2018, and was the director of Social Map Pty Ltd, Australia, since 2015, or he still is the director. Okay, and then he also joined JASMY in 2020. Next, we have Hidehiko Hakanuma. Sorry about the pronunciation. He's the executive officer in charge of product service planning, corporate planning, and marketing. After joining Sumitomo Bank, currently Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation, he was transferred to GR HomeNet Corporation, where he was engaged in the launch of the ISP business. After moving to Sony Corporation, he was involved in the establishment and business launch of Sony Bank Incorporated. It was in charge of marketing and service development at SonyStyle.com, Sony Marketing Incorporated, and Sony Life Insurance Company. After that, after working as the general manager of the product development department and the general manager of the sales planning department of Aeon Bank Ltd., he was involved in the establishment and business launch of AEON Alliance Life Insurance Company, which is a huge insurance company, and was appointed as a director in, I believe, it doesn't have a date. Anyways, he joined JASMY this year in February of 2022. So they're all former Sony executives for the most part. So what does this mean? Well, they're all clearly working on a new age idea together from Japan, old Sony executives, first ever approved crypto in Japan. So this, you could already see where this may be heading. Now, back to the white paper. Challenges in the new digital age. Today, all people, things, and services are connected to the internet, and the fourth industrial revolution will continue to deeply impact every facet of our life. It is predicted that there will be 41.6 billion internet-connected IoT devices generating 79.4 zettabytes, or approximately 80 billion terabytes of data per year by 2025. That's just around the corner. The International Data Corporation Market Forecast, 18 of June 2019, is what gave those projections. The amount of data collected by IoT devices is increasing every day, and IoT-generated data plays an important role for businesses who provide high-value added services to customers and clients. On the other hand, many companies who hold their customers' personal data neither have data management systems nor manage them properly to utilize their data, which often result in problems such as information leakage and compliance violations. And we just had the NACHA rule go into place that was given a year extension. That it was literally related to data security, data storage, data protection. Now, 2.1 challenges for the users. Individual users regularly send personal data through smartphones or IoT devices to companies and receive services in return. However, by providing their personal data to companies blindly, the users may feel discomfort as if their behavior is under surveillance, have distrust on the purpose of data usage, and anxiety about infringement of their privacy. At the same time, privacy issues arise as individuals are providing private data to the companies without knowing how such data will be used, which is a current and very common problem in today's society. While companies processing personal data justify themselves by adding consent clauses in the terms of use and third-party disclosure conditions, this data may be used against the will of the user, and it often is. For this reason, laws that allow users to request companies to disclose the purpose of their data or delete their personal information upon request have been passed and enforced. In our current world of centralized networks, this is an effective way to urge companies to protect personal data. Apart from the legal aspects, we believe that if there is an infrastructure and environment that allows the users to manage their personal data by themselves, just like they are using their own money in their wallets, they are more willing to provide information to companies for their services, and I 100% agree with this. And a more active data exchange between companies and users on a fair basis will be accelerated. This solves a lot of issues when it comes to intellectual property. Now, challenges for the companies. As long as companies are collecting personal information to improve their services, there are always security issues regarding disclosure of information, leakage prevention, and protection from attacks by hackers. As a result, companies are regularly bearing heavy costs on system updates, compulsory system audits, and many other measures to strengthen their cybersecurity. In the event of a data leakage, like mentioned before, they also will lose trust from their customers, business partners, and investors. For public companies, a negative impact on the stock price also has to be considered. Now, global enterprises in the IT industry must comply with local data regulations in each country and build a suitable networked environment. The General Data Protection Regulation was implemented by the European Parliament and Council of the European Union in 2018 with the purpose of returning the right of personal data back to its citizens. It requires company-wide measures and large investment for adaptation, modification of contracts, inquiry responses, the education of employees and workforce, further improvement in cybersecurity, and so on. In reality, many companies have not yet built a clear policy and plan regarding the handling of customer data in compliance with the regulation. And this is big regulations. 2.3. The limit of data management. Currently, most services are commonly built as so-called centralized systems. The companies manage all the data on their own servers and provide various services to the users. While centralized systems have significant advantages, such a clear responsible party and a fast processing speed, these systems will put the users in high dependency of their centrally managed systems. The problem here is the monopoly of a company as a central administrator and data aggregator. The more users and data a company has, the more likely it is to have a dominant position in utilizing it. Another problem is the data silo problem. Almost every company or organization manages their data strictly within their own centralized system, whereas other companies or organizations have no access to it, thus preventing effective interaction of data across companies and industries. In the discussion of privacy and user information, words like Japan's information banks, personal data storage, and personal information management system have become common. These new mechanisms among the current centralized network aim to realize safe and secure data utilization for both companies and individuals through a new kind of data distribution. Yet, as long as the new mechanism is grounded in the current centralized network, its limitations of dealing with data will become visible when it comes to IoT devices generating enormous amounts of data. We will provide a new option to complement the current centralized services with a decentralized network infrastructure that ensures security and trustability. Here's part 3, towards realization of a digitalized society. 3.1, decentralization. As mentioned in the previous chapter, various problems concerning personal data need to be addressed and solved. We advocate decentralization as the key to the solution. Our idea is to provide a platform where each individual can manage and control their data based on their own judgment under secure and safe conditions. This includes giving permission of use to users without stress of fear. With the JASMY platform, we will strive to realize a society where both personal data protection and utilization can be achieved simultaneously. Now, how to achieve this decentralization? Various companies are currently using digital technology for process re-engineering and new value creation in an effort to break away from their existing business models. Under the slogan, Ready to Use IoT, JASMY provides the optimal distributed IoT platform to companies via 2 methods. Number 1, they utilize edge computing with its characteristic of a decentralized process to manage IoT connectivity, and they support data management via decentralized network and storage. Now, edge computing, in the case of current cloud-based IoT platform, all collected data from devices has become centralized, stored, and processed by the system administrator as service provider. On our platform, the devices are able to process data by incorporating our unique model, and the computation itself by decentralized. Now, by shifting the vast amount of data processing from the central server to the edges, the process is distributed, and hence the risk of data loss and hacking can be reduced. As each edge can work autonomously, such architecture will be able to cope with vulnerability as well. Furthermore, the edges can work as distributed storage. Now, distributed network and storage. We provide network and storage based on decentralized technology such as blockchain and interplanetary file systems, which is IFPS. Immutability is one of the most critical components of the blockchain technology, which means that data has to be consistently written into blocks, and all the recorded blocks are impossible to alter. In addition, data authenticity will be secured by the approval algorithm of the blockchain network instead of a centered third party. This is based on the fact that all historical transactions are proven to be true due to immutability, and that all the participants trust the smart contract embedded in the blockchain network beforehand. This trustability is independent of any specific approver with great power. As a distributed network, it is based on the consensus rule agreed by all the participants. Its democratic feature is a critical element in our pursuit of realizing a data democracy. You can read the rest of this by using the link in the description if you'd like. Again, this is the world is changing from a technological standpoint. If you're reading the news and you're buying all the hype, you're not looking to the future for yourself, for your family, in the right aspect. Don't look to the news and headlines. Yeah, NFTs are great, but there's no value in them that's not self-created. IoT has a use case across several industries, and JASMY's price as of right now is sitting at 0.01074 with an all-time high of $4.99. That's a long period of consolidation. In my opinion, it would be wise to grab a bag of some JASMY, because again, this is the future. Whether you like it or not, IoT will be in the near future. All they're waiting on is the same thing that everything else is waiting on, which is scalability, transactions per second, which is going to come with the F2 fork upgrade later in September. Anyways, just wanted to share that. JASMY coin, first Japanese Bitcoin, or it's dubbed the Japanese Bitcoin, first ever approved crypto in Japan. It's near its all-time lows, down 99.7% on the whole, in its existence. And this could be a pretty penny for you later on down the road. So, the first phase is platform popularization. Second phase is value growth. Third phase is ecosystem expansion. Fourth phase is marketplace expansion. The IoT marketplace as a whole is expected to really take reins in about 2026.